Hello, everybody. As I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're joining us from today, and welcome to the What's New at Envision webinar. Today's June the 22nd, and I'm super excited to welcome such a lively crowd to today's webinar. Just a little bit of housekeeping from our side. We are recording this webinar, which is also being streamed live now on YouTube. Which means that you'll be able to watch it and share it with anybody afterwards if you wish. Please ask questions by either using the raised hands function here within Zoom or in the chat function on YouTube, and we will do our best to answer as many of those questions as we can afterwards, but also during the Q&A session as well, of course. Links to today's slide and the recordings will be shared with you directly as you've registered, but it's also going to be available on our website across our social and community networks as well. So just to get going, again, welcome. And I'd like to introduce you to the team today. We have got a great crowd, as I said. So I'm going to just start introducing the team in order actually of speaker, which means I've actually put myself last, but I'm Vanessa, I'm CMO at Envision. A visual description at 50 plus age, quite short, British and Dutch, and also visually impaired. I have RP, but for today's purposes, that's no problem. Joining me are Karthik Mahadevan, who's co-founder and CEO of Envision, Karthik Kannan, who's co-founder and CTO of Envision, and as our special guests today, two Envisioners from either side of the Atlantic. On the US side is Sharon Givliazzo. Sorry, Sharon, I'm really bad with names. Givliazzo. She's president and CEO of World Services for the Blind, and Sharon will be introducing herself in a little while when we have a lovely kind of round table discussion with her, and Stuart Beveridge from Smart Technology Trainer at Seascope in the UK, actually in Scotland. And Stuart, we know well, has been with Envision for a long time. Sharon is actually a relatively new, by comparison, Envisioner. So we're really excited to hear their experiences. I'll be around and I'll be doing this sort of virtual ushering on and out between sessions. And so that now takes me on to our first speaker, which is Karthik. And Karthik is going to share a little bit with us about his experiences of meeting no wonder than Stevie Wonder at CSUN recently. Karthik.
All right. Yes, appreciate that, Dr. Vanessa, and I welcome everybody who is now part of the webinar. Apologies for that. Some technical difficulties, as always happens when you're starting out a webinar. But yeah, so I'm Karthik Mahadevan. I'm the co-founder and a CEO of Envision. I am Indian, like brown, dude, scruffy hair, and a little bit of a like stubble. That's how I would describe myself. If I actually have to describe myself, I'll probably add the word handsome and also like dashing in there, but that is a subjective opinion. So yeah, like I wanted to start off with a bit of a story of something that we experienced when our team went to CSUN in March. It was the CSUN conference that happens annually in Anaheim. And this was us actually attending the conference after 2 years, because for the past 2 years, because of the pandemic, the conference was happening online and also happening in a virtual way. So this was the first time that we were actually able to attend a proper conference like in person. And of course, all of us as a team were extremely excited about attending the conference itself, to talk to users, to talk to like distributors, and to talk to other partners that we have in the industry. But as we were attending like the conference, and we were always at the booth, we started, like hearing rumors and talks about Stevie Wonder attending a season and like doing sort of audit rounds. We didn't like sort of audit think too much of it at that time. But then after a while, somebody approached our booth and they said that Stevie Wonder would actually want to have a chat with your team, and he would really want a demonstration of the product that you have to offer. We were very apprehensive. We're like, okay, this is probably just like a normal thing that he does every year with all people who attend. So we accepted the offer, and at about 5 o'clock in the evening, they took us to a room where Stevie Wonder was there with his entourage. So we did the usual pitch. We did a demo. We explained to them, here's what the glasses can do for you. And he was immediately excited about the glasses. Like he was sort of asking all the questions that like a user would would normally ask. He was asking about what's the battery life that like it has, like sort of what kind of a camera it has, and we offered him the glasses, and he was playing around with a lot. So we spoke to him about half an hour, and he was like very, very excited for this half an hour. And then he said that he has to leave, but he would definitely want to come back the next day and talk to us a bit more. We thought, okay, that was probably the end of it. We got to talk to Steve Wonder for half an hour. That's already pretty amazing. And we were already very happy with that interaction that we had. And we got back to our booth and just started doing the business the way we were doing it. But then on like a second day, which was actually also like a last day of CSUN, somebody found us at the booth again, and they said, you know what, Stevie is back, and he wants to again have a chat with your team. So can you sort of talk to us after the conference is over? So after we sort of like wrapped up the conference, we wrapped up the booth. We again were taken to a room where Steve Wonder was again there with his entourage. But at this time, he wanted like a full-on onboarding onto the glasses. He said, "I want to know everything, start from the like top and all the way to the bottom." He wanted to experience all the features for himself. So he put on like glasses. He like started with instant text and scan text. He was taking off different stuff he had to read, and he was attempting to read a whole bunch of stuff that he already had along with him. And then we got to the ally like feature, which is a video calling a feature. And he's like, this is a feature I really want to test. And he stood up and he left the room with the glasses on with an ally call. So I was on the other end holding the phone, and he was on an ally call with me. And he was asking like me to offer him directions around the hotel that the conference was happening in. So he was just like walking around, and I was explaining to him that so here's the lobby, here's the reception, there's a painting on the wall, there's like a vase. Then he went to the coffee shop in the hotel, and he ordered a coffee, and I was able to help him with all the transaction and stuff that was happening there. So he was walking around in the hotel with our glasses on, with like me on the other end with the Ally app, and I was a bit nervous, to be honest, because I don't want to be the person who caused Stevie Wonder to stumble into something. But he did it pretty amazing, and it was a really sort of almost like a surreal experience for us to sort of have this experience with him. Then after he came back to the room, he did sort of have a interaction with us for like a long while after. He also started talking about what are his sort of vision of stuff that the glasses could potentially do for him in the future. And then he started becoming super excited, and he really wanted to share the vision that he has of like what the glasses it could be along with us. And he said that in order for us to experience that vision, we need to come to his studio. So that was like the last thing. So he said, yeah, I want all of you guys to come to my studio and to have a sneak peek into the new album that I'm working on. And also that I want to use that time to explain about the vision I have about the glasses. At this point, we were still very apprehensive. We are still like not fully sure if Stevie is actually being serious or not, or is this just something he says to everybody he needs only to be nice. So we got back home to our hotel at that night. We're still very apprehensive if Stevie is going to actually invite us to the studio, because we didn't get a location or an address or a contact or anything. But about like a midday the next day, we do get like a message from someone from Stevie's team, and they said, like, here's the address. I want you guys to be here at to such and such time. So we arrived there. We were at the studio, and then we were still apprehensive if Stevie is going to show up or not, because we thought, okay, maybe he's just not going to show up. And but he was there on time. Like, he was, as soon as we arrived at the studio, within a couple of minutes, Steve walks in with his entourage, and he offers us a tour of his studio, which is which is a massive studio in the heart of like Hollywood. So like, he offers us a tour. He sort of explains all the different recording studios that are in there, and he shows us the instruments that he really uses in there to make his songs. And all of this was, for us, really a surreal experience. And after that, he starts to play the songs from a new album of his, and that was, I think, the most surreal part of the whole experience, where we're just in Stevie's studio and we're listening to his songs, and we're just in the moment experiencing that emotion, which I think was, for us, like the epitome of the trip that we made to the US. So after all of this, we did have a very extended our talk with Stevie. We installed the glasses for him, so now he's a full-on envisioner. He is something who's who is using the glasses on a regular basis and offering us pretty good feedback on it as well. And there are ideas that Stevie has about what we could potentially do with the glasses. Those are the details I cannot go into a bit as of now. But if you all are staying like attuned with us, there will be stuff that we'll be announcing soon that will be very exciting. But yeah, like, the whole experience is something that we will cherish for the rest of our life, about this experience that we have with Steve Wonder. And hopefully, as we like go forward, there'll be a lot more stuff that we'll be able to do together along with him. So yeah,
super cool. Super cool. And I hasten to add, he didn't spill his coffee at all, and he got guided back, and it was all in safe hands. And he's used to having guides with him, right? And these guys had to kind of let him go because he had his glasses on. So very cool. Thanks, Kartik. I'm now going to ask actually Kartik Gannon, our CTO, to actually give us an update now on the Envision glasses. For those of you who've been following us, we have had a major update recently, but Kartik has some other news as well. So I'm going to hand over to Kartik. Thanks, Kartik.
Hello, everybody. This is Kartik Kannan from Envision, one of the founders and the CTO of Envision. I am a brown Indian male with beard. And of course, scruffy hair is a thing. If you're a startup founder, you have to have scruffy hair. That's how it works. All right. So as you know, we've been constantly updating the Envision glasses with a lot of new features. We've been hard at work on a whole bunch of features, and ever since we launched the Envision glasses in October of 2020, we've had more than 30 updates of the glasses, and we continue to keep updating the glasses month on month with new features and new updates and so on. From the very beginning, we've always believed that the Envision glasses is a really good reading device, and we've always worked towards making the Envision glasses the best possible reading device out there. This season, we announced the release of the biggest update to the reading, through all the reading features on the Envision glasses. And we've got two updates, and both those updates are actually on the scan text feature of the Envision glasses. The first update is called Smart Guidance. And of course, I'm going to demonstrate these updates to you as well, just after I describe them. So the first update is Smart Guidance. And the main idea behind Smart Guidance is to help you scan documents more easily with the Envision glasses. So when you have a book or a document and you want to scan them with the Envision glasses, the glasses now give you guidance on how to move the document. So it's fully in frame. And when the glasses find the documents in frame, it automatically goes ahead and captures the document for you. And we're also going to be bringing this to books as well. So we have books right now in private beta, and we're going to be hoping to bring the same feature to books in the future. The second big feature that we have launched is layout detection. So layout detection is basically going to give you an idea of the layout of a document. So what the glasses now do is, when it sees a document, it understands the layout of the document. So if you're trying to read a magazine article, if you're trying to read the newspaper, you can't just go ahead and read that document from right to left. If a document contains columns, the classes need to understand that, okay, it does contain columns, and then read the document accordingly. Similarly, if the document contains a heading, or in the future, we're also going to be bringing tables as well, right? The document needs to understand the layout of so the classes need to understand the layout of the document and then speak the information out to you accordingly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly demonstrate these two features for you, so you can have you can understand how they work. And if you're a classes user, you can go ahead and update to the latest version, that's 1.6.0, and you'll be able to go ahead and try out all these features for yourself.
Home.
So what I'm doing is I'm wearing the Envision glasses right now. And just to give a small sort of description of how the glasses look like for people who have never experienced the Envision glasses before. So the glasses look like any other pair of sunglasses, just like any other pair of glasses in general. What I'm wearing is the version of the glasses that has a thin titanium frame. There is also a thicker version of the frame that I can see Stuart is wearing right now. But this particular with the thicker frame, you can actually go ahead and put in prescription lenses or dark lenses, so you can actually change the lenses on that frame. The one I'm wearing is the thinner frame where you cannot add lenses for the moment. And on the right-hand side of the glasses is where just in front of your right eye, you have a small display. And further down from the display, you have a camera. Though the camera is on the right-hand side, it's facing towards the center. It's a wide angle camera. It captures a lot more than what your regular smartphone camera does. And if you travel further down on the right from the camera, just next to your temple is where the touchpad is. We have some basic gestures that you can learn very easily if you're already using VoiceOver or TalkBack, and you can use those similar gestures on the trackpad. And then further down the line, you have the speaker and the mic that's located right next to your right ear. The thing about the Envision glasses is that you can also go ahead and connect these glasses to a Bluetooth device, like what I've done right now. So all the audio that comes out of the glasses is now routed through a Bluetooth speaker. You can, of course, connect this to like any Bluetooth speaker or your AirPods, for example, and also have the audio happen, output come from there. And then located right behind your right ear is the processing unit, and that contains the processing unit, the battery, and so on. And at the very end of the glasses is a USB-C charging port. The glasses do support fast charging. So if you have any USB-C fast charger, you can just plug that into the glasses and be able to charge them easily. The average battery life of the glasses is anywhere between 5 to 8 hours. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn on the glasses. And when I turn on the glasses, you'll hear the audio from the speaker. I'm just going to very quickly go through the menu of the glasses, and then I'm going to show you how the new scan text update works. So
Home.
So I'm now in the home screen. And then what I need to do is just swipe forward on the glasses, and I'll be able to go through all the different menu items on the glasses. So I just swipe forward. I do a one finger swipe forward.
Read. Call. Identify. Find. Device settings. Feature preferences. Help.
So what you heard was just all the different categories that are there within the Envision glasses. And the glasses also support multi-touch gestures, which means that I can do a very simple 2-finger swipe down on the trackpad, and it takes me back to the home screen. So I'm going to do that right now.
Home.
And I'm back at home. So with me, I have a very simple, I have an A4 document that's in front of me that has a little bit of information about the glasses itself, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to scan this particular document using the Envision glasses. So you will first hear the smart guidance feature kick in, which will give me directions on how to move the document. And once the document is automatically captured, the glasses will automatically understand the layout of the document, which contains headings, columns, and so on, and then speak it out to me in the right order. So I'm going to go to the read category, go to scan text, and then activate it.
Read.
I do a 1-finger double tap.
Instant text.
So I'm in instant text. I do a 1-finger swipe, which then takes me over to scan text.
Scan text.
So I've put the document intentionally a little bit away from the camera so that it gives me guidance on how to move the document, so I can go ahead and capture it effectively. So I'm going to do one finger double tap.
Scan text. Move document up or your head down. Move document right. Move document right. Reader, heading. Envision glasses hear what you want to see. The Envision glasses are a wearable assistive device that allows users to independently access the world around them in a way that is convenient, hands-free, and discreet. Envision glasses make everyday life more accessible for those with visual impairment by using Envision's award-winning ALF technology to turn visual information into speech. Turn text into speech. The Envision glasses enable you to read and export home. One finger swipe down again to exit.
So what you just heard there was the fact that the glasses gave me instructions on how to move the document. The glasses automatically went ahead and captured the document when it was fully in frame. It also understood that the document did contain headings. It also understood that it was looking at columns and then structure the whole document in a way that I can just understand it, understand the layout of the document as I'm getting the actual text in there. Of course, what you can also do is you can go ahead and export the document. You can just do a very simple two-finger touch to like go ahead and export the document from the Envision glasses over to the Envision app, and have that read out to you within the app. You can export it from the app in many different formats, share it with people, so on and so forth. So these are the two big updates that we have right now on the Envision glasses that make it an amazing reading device for anyone who wants to read printed documents of any kind. Of course, this is not the end. We have a lot of great features planned for this particular part of Envision glasses, specifically improving the reading capabilities. Like I said, we're going to be bringing the same scanning capability to books as well. So if you have a book that's in front of you, you'll be able to open it, scan it with the Envision glasses, read it. We're also going to be able to help you detect tables in a document. So if you're reading a bank statement or an account statement with the Envision glasses, the glasses will automatically understand that it's a table and then give you the information accordingly. And so we're having a lot of new features that are coming in the pipeline when it comes to reading. So please stay tuned. And of course, I have something else to also share, but I'm going to do that towards the very end. So stay tuned. Over to you, Vanessa.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Kartik. Super cool. And we're getting some great feedback on those updates. So very cool and excited to hear what's in store. I'm now going to actually just pass the virtual floor over back to Kartik to have a nice chat here with Sharon and Stuart. Please, just a quick ask, if you've got questions, please put that in the chat functions or the Q&A functions on Zoom and or YouTube, and we'll answer those. And we're just going to do a quick chat with them and find out about the first-hand real-world experience of living and working with Envision glasses. Thank you.
All right. Vanessa, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So now we have two we have a cool people who have joined us for this for this webinar. So I would like to introduce both Sharon and Stuart. Welcome for being a part of this webinar. They both are Envisioners and they both are very excited and enthusiastic about it. So let me start with Sharon. If you can introduce yourself, the work you do, and also to add to that, so how was the first time that came to know about Envision? If you can answer all three of them at one go.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kartik, and thank you, Envision team, for allowing me to be a part of this. My name's Sharon Giovinazzo, and I'm the president and CEO at World Services for the Blind, located in Little Rock, Arkansas. And we are a vocational training facility that trains people how to go into careers. Well, as a person who lost their vision 21 years ago, technology is obviously a huge part of my life. And I've been through the gamut of the technologies, as most of us who are a little on the geeky side have been. So I am relatively new, just since CSUN on the Envision platform, but talk about the first experience. If you never believed in love at first sight, it was love at first sight, folks. So I went over there and just, I've had a lot of sales pitches on, technology, but I guess you could say seeing is believing. And on that, it was literally putting the glasses on, putting it in instant text, and standing at the booth and reading all the booths around me. And so then I think I took off with the glasses somehow. I think they were chasing me down in the conference hall. And because it was walking through the hotel, it was the freedom of walking through a hotel and reading the sign. It's like, oh, wow, I can read the door signs. I don't even have to stop, put my luggage down, let my dog harness go down and go and feel the walls. Instead, I just can read them as I go along. And I think probably one of the most freeing things that it has been is I have no problem navigating airports. I just have a problem reading the signs. And, with some of the other technologies, you may have a phone that you have to pick up. You have to find where the sign is. And on these, all I have to do is look around. So, I mean, it's just been, it's been absolutely breathtaking that no matter where I walk into, that, all of a sudden a visual impairment isn't a disability. If I can walk into a boardroom in any venue, anywhere, and pick up the piece of paper that's been put there for the sighted folks, that's leveling the playing field right there. So I appreciate the Imagineers that's made me an Envisioneer. So thanks, Kartik.
Appreciate that,
Did
Sharon.
I get
Thank you
all
so
of those
much.
answers, by the way?
Yes, you did. Thank you. And with that, let me go to Stuart. Stuart has been an Envisioner for a while now. He was you're one of the earliest Envisioners that we onboarded. So Stuart, can you quickly introduce yourself and talk about the work you do, and also so how did you become an Envisioner to begin with?
Yeah, certainly. Can you hear me okay, Karthik?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So my name is Stuart Beveridge, and for the last 9 years now, I have worked as the smart technology trainer for a very small charity in Scotland in the Fife area called Seascape. Some people on the webinar might know it better as Fife Society for the Blind. So my main role is to train people who, like myself, have no vision, or whose sight is it's not usable, so they can't use any magnification products or software. So one of those things are obviously the Envision glasses. I'm now training people to use them because we got funding recently, so we could get a pair. And I started out, I was an early adopter of Envision. I actually found the app to begin with when it was just released, because it was through, I'm sure many people know of the Apple Viz newsletter, and this came up and I thought, oh yes, I must give this a try. And I thought the app was really good. It read documents. I thought it read documents better than I'd ever had before. And obviously, I loved the fact that it could find things, so if I was looking for a chair, I'd hold the phone out and the camera would beep when the chair was in front of me, that sort of thing. So really loved the app and how accessible and easy to use it was. But one of my passions, to be honest with you, has always been for something wearable, because then it would be hands-free, a set of glasses really like anyone else would wear that was sighted, and it would help me it would describe my surroundings, it would read things to me just in a totally hands-free almost experience. And to be honest, I had tried other wearables before and I just wasn't that I just didn't think they were for me, as someone who has no vision. And I've never had vision, so it's a really tricky, until the Envision glasses came along, it was a really tricky area for me. And then it was just, I honestly can't remember where. I was in some sort of newsletter about these things called the Envision glasses, and I just thought, they weren't even released; they were still just being developed. And I did every bit of research I could about them. I listened to the guys on the Facebook interviews and Blind Bargains interviews, all of the podcast interviews they did. And the more I researched and the more I listened, because to start with, I thought, yeah, it's great. It's going to be, as Sharon says, yeah, hands-free, they seem easy to use, but what do they do that the Envision app doesn't? Surely there has to be something more to these glasses. And then it was one of the Carfix said about the Envision Ally, which is basically the video connection feature where you can have trusted people, which I think that's very key in my situation because I am a very private person. I don't mind telling people that. And you could have these, your family, as I have friends as well, put these, a companion app onto their Apple or Android phone. And then I could call these people directly from the glasses once I've added them in as contacts through the phone. And they could actually, it was a two-way communication system. I could speak to them directly from the glasses and they could see everything that this wide angle camera on the glasses was picking up and actually helped me out. And I can tell you something, the video connection feature, as Vanessa well knows, is extremely important to me. It's my most favorite feature. And so to cut a long story short, I decided, much against my mum's wishes, to take the plunge and pre-order the Envision glasses. And when I got them and set them up, I just couldn't believe how easy they were to use. And I am now using them every day. And the two main features I use are that the reading feature is, now that the update is here, trust me, this is the creme de la creme. You will not get anything better that wearable that reads to you like these things, that convert text to speech, and even handwriting, which I'm happy to talk about later on. And again, I'll talk about this later on, but the Envision Ally, I don't know, I couldn't do without the video connection feature now, because I have such a super group of family and friends who gave me the chance to put the app onto their smartphones for them. And I know that they are there every day. If the glasses, for any reason, or I'm really struggling, and I know that the glasses can't do something, I just call my mum, my dad, my sister up, and they can talk me through things. So that's just a quick intro to me and why I chose the Envision glasses. And just to say as well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be part of this webinar as well.
All right, Stuart, thank you. Kind words. So maybe just to go back to Sharon a bit, I want to know, like, since you've had the glasses, has there been like a memorable incident or an anecdote, something that happened, like some sort of a task that you were able to do with the glasses that you were earlier unable to do?
So I'll echo Stuart on the Ally feature. And I took on a project. I bought a lake house and it needed some work on it. It needed a lot of work. And I textured walls, and I had a horrible time with finding the places that was not covered in paint. And so once again, I have a painty hand. I have a roller in one hand. I didn't have room for a phone. So I was like, oh, I can call a friend who can see. Wow. Although I didn't call you, Kartik, it would have been the wrong time of the day. But I mean, that's just a game changer. And I mean, you just think about it, sometimes it's the simplest thing. Sometimes it's having to sign a document and you have those trusted allies. But, then again, it's not the one that, that one getting the live help. I've had the technology that does OCR, but it doesn't do all of these other things. And to be able to bring that person on, and, there's other apps out there, but we know that some of them are free. Some of them are, you still have to all have it in your hands. And some of it is just out of the price range of anything. But, one of the things that's exciting for me is, as a service provider, and get people who come in to be able to get careers, is to be able to show them live what we're doing with these and how this is a game changer. So, and just in the US, how they can get a VR case and how their VR counselor can buy these for them. So But that was the funnest thing, was painting at the same time while somebody was talking me through. It's like, oh, you got to go over to the right a little bit.
Great. That's yeah. Like in the end, did you, like sort of like finish the paint job entirely, or like, what's the status of that right now?
Well, the paint job and the texturing is finished, and over the 4th of July long holiday, it will be laying carpet tiles in a pattern. And so I guarantee you that I will be phoning a friend or an ally.
Great. Stuart, I think like a same question for you. Like, is there like like an incident or like an anecdote that you remember in which the glasses like was something that were able to help you to do a task that you otherwise probably would not be able to?
Yeah, how long do you have? I mean, there's a good few. I mean, one I remember was, it was just actually reading, and I could always do it with the phone through the Envision AI app. I could always read a document with the camera of that, but sometimes it was a bit fiddly, and you're having to always move the phone around, and sometimes it just wasn't capturing as clear as I would like. And I remember I ended up just thinking, I'm just going to take this letter down to my mum and just get her to read it. It was laziness, and it was easier for me at the time. But then when the glasses came, I thought, okay, I've bought these glasses. Let's try reading a letter that's came through my door. And the first letter I got and read, within probably about, a couple of seconds of opening it, was a very confidential letter from the hospital. I don't mind telling people I hadn't been keeping well at the time. And when I got that letter and read it telling me everything was fine and I wasn't to go back to the hospital, for another 5 years because everything was fine, the relief, that I got from that. And, usually I would have taken my mum, that down to my mum to read it. But it's private, really, as much as I trust and love my mum, it's great to do that for yourself. And I took it down and I said to my mum, everything's fine. I don't have to go back, for another 5 years to the hospital. And she took the letter and read it and she went, how did you know? And then she looked and I had the glasses on and she went, just right away, she just went, okay, I now see why these things are actually worth every penny that you've paid for them. Very, very simple thing, but for me that was just great, being actually able to for really the first time ever read my own mail. And just finishing off on the reading feature, I did not think the handwriting would be as good. And I remember, again, a Christmas card came through the door and I got the Envision glasses to read it within, 2 or 3 seconds of, getting everything up and running. And it read it perfectly. I was astounded. And I went down and I took it to my dad and I says, yeah, Dad, here's a Christmas card for us from Jeanette and John, who are our neighbours. And my dad says, right, I know the glasses are good, but please tell me these things don't read handwriting. And I said, yeah, that's just read. And I read the card word for word. And it's when sighted people see these things in action, the amazement is unbelievable. And, I'm not going to talk about the Ally because Sharon's already had a really innovative, conversation there, how she used Ally. That's really innovative. But again, that feature fascinates people. So I could go on and on, but that's just a couple of quick examples there.
Got it. No, that sounds really great. So, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I think just to maybe sort of wrap things up and probably open up the Q&A for the rest of the audience, they can also ask you more specific stuff. I just want to ask you, if you were to recommend Envision glasses to someone, and if you have to explain what these glasses do in a sentence, how would you describe these glasses?
Sorry, is that for me or Sharon? Is that for me, Karthik? Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, I do talks to groups and I do this. So I always say to people about the glasses that you know, it's when you really have need of them that they come to the forefront, you know, and they'll be different for everybody because everybody has their own different needs, and you know, everybody's in a different situation. But it's when you have need of them for anything at all, from reading to locating objects to describing scenes to, you know, the brilliant Envision Ally. When you have need of them, these glasses will be there for you and see you through. And you know, I really, honestly, because of the Envision Ally in particular feature, it really, you know, it's the only thing that's going to limit you with these things is your own imagination. I can't put it any simpler than that. So when you have need of them, they will be there.
Awesome. Thank you, Stuart. And Sharon, a same question to you. If you had somebody who's asking you about it, but you only had a sentence to explain these glasses to them, how would you do it?
I can do it in one word. Wow. I mean, if you want to level the playing field and you want to have access to the same thing that people who are sighted have, these are the glasses for you.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate those your answers, Stuart and Sharon. And now we'll be going into the Q&A. So we'll open up the floor to people from the audience who want to ask us a question. You can either ask us a question by using the raise hand functionality that Zoom has, and if you raise your hand, we can then bring you onto the panel, and then you can ask a question to any of us on the panel directly. You can also use the Q&A feature that is there in Zoom, or a comment feature that is that's in Zoom, and you can also ask the questions there. Before we go into Q&A, do we have some announcements?
Yeah, I think there was a bit of an announcement that Kartik was teasing us with earlier. So I'm going to hand it back to Kartik Gannon because I'm dying to know what that is.
Yes, you know, I was very much lying when I said that whole smart guidance and layout detection were the biggest announcements that I have for today. But there's one that I'm definitely sure is going to top that. Ever since the beginning of us putting out the Envision glasses, the only way to interact with the Envision glasses has been through your hand. So you had to do these different gestures on the glasses to be able to go ahead and interact with the glasses and get information. And it's been an ask from a lot of users, the glasses, or have a way to interact with the glasses using your voice. And that's what we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate for the very first time, in front of all of you, the upcoming voice commands feature on the Envision glasses. So I'm going to wear the Envision glasses. In the Envision glasses, there's actually a hinge button. And when you go ahead and press the hinge button, it's going to activate the voice commands, and you can speak out whatever feature you would like to go ahead and use, and it would just open up that feature and start automatically working out of the box, right? So I'm going to try out instant text. I'm going to try out a few of them. And this update is going to be available very, very soon to all of the Envision glasses users, completely free of cost, right? So So I've got the home, I'm on the home screen right now. I'm just going to press the hinge button. Instant text.
Opening instant text. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. J.K. Rowling. Envision glasses. Home.
So I had the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban book cover in front of me and I just read that using the instant text. I can even do, for example, a describe scene. So I can just go ahead and press the hinge button again. Describe scene.
Opening describe scene. A laptop on a table.
Yeah, it's a lie. I'm just sitting in front of my laptop looking at it. So you can use this particular feature from anywhere within the Envision glasses, and it's going to work perfectly fine. We're going to be rolling this out, like I said, very soon. And you guys will all be able to test it and use it. So yes, Envision glasses doesn't just work with your hands, it also works with your voice, and we're going to be rolling it out very soon. And you can use pretty much any feature of the Envision glasses that you want with your voice. We're super excited for you to try it out. We're super excited to see all the cool things you're going to do with it. So yeah, stay tuned.
Super. That was amazing. I mean,
Oh,
we've been enjoying watching the team actually test this as they've been walking around talking to anything and everyone. So no, we're really excited about that. And as, you know, with the marketing team, we'll be sending out more information and be pushing that product out really soon, which is fabulous. So now it's actually a chance to hear from you. We have had some questions come in already, and I'm going to actually ask the team to look at those. I think we can start with a couple that have come in through the chat function here. And one of those was actually about voice commands. So I think we've answered that one for you. I think we had another question as well, guys. So that was about whether you could actually control the Envision glasses from the app, which is an interesting question. And I've had that a few times. And, you know, I can have a stab at answering that, but we use the app as more a companion app. So you can teach the glasses faces and things like that, and install your allies through your glasses, through the app, and also use your app to store documents which you scan. But actually sort of all the action controls are actually just done through the glasses. And now through your voice coming up. I don't know if I missed anything on that. Is there anything you want to add on that?
No, I think that's essentially it. The idea of the glasses is that they are a standalone your device. So the idea is that they need to you need to be able to operate them as a standalone device. So yeah, as of now, the way to operate them is either through through a touchpad, but in the very short future also with the voice commands. I do see a lot of raised like hands.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to start bringing some people into the panel. I'm going to start with Dr. Douglas Udali. If I'm
Yes, can you hear me?
Right. Yes, we can hear you, Dr. Douglas. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Most impressive presentation, by the way. My question is, at what range will the Envision glasses read signs? And will it tell me the distance? And is there a chance that it might be reading a sign beyond where I think I am?
All right, that's a good question. So basically, what Envision glasses can read, it doesn't really depend as much on the distance of the text from you. It more depends on the size of the text that is away from you. So if it is a small piece of text, like on an A4 sheet, if it's if it's a beyond like a feet, it will not be able to read it. But if it's like a shop sign or a big like a room number, then even if it's like far away, you're able to pick it up. So it really depends on the size of the text you're trying to read, and it's not as much dependent on the distance from you as a person. So a nice way to think about it is that if you will take an image of whatever is the text that is in front of you on a phone, and if a sighted person is able to look at that image on a phone and read the text, then Envision glasses are also able to read that text. So that's like sort of like a, like a good way to to think about it.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Douglas, thank you so much for your question. I'm gonna bring in Christy on to the panel. Like Christy, you can ask us a question that you might have.
Yes, I'm wondering about what you said about the hinge button. I wasn't quite understanding that. So does that mean when you open the large hinge, then you're able to talk?
So like I'm assuming you also are an Envisioner and you already have a pair of Envision glasses with you. Awesome. So in the glasses, there is like a metallic hinge that is on the side of the glasses. And on top of that hinge, there is a button actually which can be pressed. So as of now, if you already have the Envision glasses, they do not do anything. So it's just like a fluffy like sort of like button that you can use to like play around. But after the next software update, that a button will actually be used to activate the voice commands.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Christy. Thank you.
Oh.
All right, let's go back to some of the like questions from the comments before we pick more up from the live audience.
Yeah,
was so there is a question about if Envision glasses are able to read labels on a can or on your food packaging. So that's a question I actually would sort of like pass on to Sharon. Like, do you have experience with reading like labels or your food packaging with Envision glasses, and how do they perform?
Oh my goodness, it's one of the best things ever for reading on these rounded, a can or a water bottle or something. I mean, if you want to find out nutritional information or just read the can, it will actually do it. I don't know what it is. It's magic, I think. But I mean, it is absolutely the best reading, anything from, my iPhone to any other scanning device that I've ever used. I mean, just to be able to walk in and literally just read the shelves on the instant text to be able to find something in a grocery store like that. I mean, it's independence, guys.
Yeah. All right, Chan, thank you so much for that answer. There is also a question if it can find doors from Dana. So as of now, in the list of objects that Envision is able to recognize, we don't yet have doors, but we already you're working on an update to that. So shortly we'll be adding stuff like the doors, stairs, and a trash bin into the list of objects that Envision classes will be able to recognize. All right.
There was one question that came in as well from somebody about the voice commands, when that's going to be available. And just to kind of make that clear, that'll be in the next major update of the glasses. And yes, it's really, really easy to update your glasses. It's in the settings menu function. And we'll make it very, very clear with instructions on how to do that when the time comes. I'm going to be a bit mean, actually, because I do see we got lots of questions. And so we will follow up with these questions with everybody afterwards. But we're down to just a few minutes before the top of the hour. So I think we should just think about one or two more questions, and then we're getting to the end. And we've got a few notices at the end of this. Are there any burning questions here that we want to have a look at?
I'll bring up Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony, great.
And we can have him ask his question. Anthony, so now you're on the panel. You can ask us your question.
Yes, I'm Anthony. I'm sorry. I got on here late because it appeared that the Zoom link to join the meeting didn't work. And then I had to copy and paste the meeting number and get in using the browser. Then it sent me back to the Zoom app, which I pasted the meeting in. And by the time I got in here, it was almost 20 of the hour. So I missed the majority of this presentation. Is this going to be able to watch this at a later time?
Yes.
Or if so, how do you do that?
Yes, so there will be, so this whole webinar has been recorded, and we'll be uploading the recording of the webinar to YouTube, and we will be sending you like a follow-up email. So at the time when you signed up, you would have put down like a name and email. So you will get an email from us just shortly with the recording of the webinar that you can watch at a later time.
Okay. Basically, sending me a follow-up email, and
yes,
with a link that I'll be able to click on and be able to watch it again. Okay.
Yep. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony. Thank you for your question.
Great.
There is a question from George like Martin, who asks, when will the Envision classes support IRA? And I'm assuming by that he means the IRA like a video calling app. There is like a work happening on that, and I think so all we can say for now is stay tuned. You will have some exciting announcement from us coming on the partnerships front pretty soon.
Yeah, and I'm not going to let the management team say anything more on that, but yeah, stay tuned. Great. So I'm going to interrupt and just share a little bit more information with you all. So bear with me. I'm just going to share my screen again and present some things. So I've also got a surprise up my sleeve as well for everybody. But I think. Sorry. That wasn't my surprise. Sorry. That was me not being able to manage the mouse. But I have some useful links here. Again, we will share all of this in our follow-up email, but in terms of where to find more information, not only about, of course, Envision and requesting a demo, but where Sharon works at World Services for the Blind and Stuart at Seascape. So please check those great organizations out, and a really heartfelt thanks from my side for your time today. You guys are inspiring. And we also have a webinar coming up with AbilityNet in the UK. AbilityNet is an organization to help people with disabilities to use technology. And a big portion of their audience and community are visually impaired as well. But it's a really interesting one where we're going to be speaking together with the Royal National Institute of the Blind in the UK about technology to help people with vision loss. And that's happening on June the 28th, so coming up soon. And there's a link in here again where you can register for that. So my piece of news is also, let me just get that next slide, is a bit more commercial, a bit more exciting maybe, that I would like to offer to everybody who has registered for this webinar, a special discount of 25% off your Envision glasses. We are very excited to be able to do that. There's just 3 steps to take to get to your glasses. So one of that is to request a demo at a web page, which I have included here, and again we'll share. And that demo will be with one of us and our team here at Envision. It's a very well thought through demo, and it takes you through the glasses very well. And in the sign up of that demo, there's a selection, there's a section and a question that asks, where did you hear from Envision? All you need to do there is select the Envision webinar option. So that's within the sign up process. It's really easy and really quick. And then the third part, of course, is enjoy your demo and order your glasses. So we will be expecting to hear from you if you've already, have a demo signed up or you've been thinking about it. Now's your chance to jump in and to have a go. From my side, I don't think I have anything more to say, but thank you so much for your time. We will be hoping to do more webinars and more sessions like this with more Envisioners around the world. And if you have additional questions and any follow-up on that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us through our communities and our social channels, or on the contact, the support at letsenvision.com email. That's it really from my side. I don't know if, gentlemen, you have anything to add?
No, I think that does cover a lot of it. I know there are a lot of the questions that are still being asked.
Yes.
So maybe we take a couple of more questions and then wrap
Absolutely, let's do that. That's fine. We can take a couple of more questions.
Cool. Let me bring on Rob Dizonia, who has raised his hand, and allow him to talk.
Audio now unmuted. Leave button.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to do this.
Vanessa from Envision.
I hope it works.
Displaying Vanessa from Envision's video. Audio muted.
Okay.
Displaying Kartik Mahanavan's video.
I was wondering if it's possible to connect the Envision glasses to a cellular hotspot when you're outside, because some things don't work unless you're connected to, Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah, no, it is totally a possibility to connect the hotspot. So if you're out and about, that is the way to operate the glasses. Maybe Stuart, you want to answer that as to how are you are using the glasses when you're out and about, and are you actually using it with the hotspot of your phone?
Yes, and again, that's really useful for the ally feature, especially if you need to be guided around a local shop, that doesn't have Wi-Fi or anything. then you could easily connect to your hotspot. I've even used it with the hotspot. I've used the described scene features a lot with the hotspot connected when I've been in the local park with my guide dog, just to see, just to hear what's around about me. It's really quite fascinating. I didn't know half the things that were in the local park until I bought these glasses. And just to say as well, in case anybody wonders, it honestly does not use, from my experience, much data at all. If you were to connect with an Envision ally, you might
Audio
use
now
a
unmuted.
bit
Displaying Kartik
more,
compatible video.
but for anything like describing scenes and things like that, or reading text, it really does not eat into your data in my experience at all, which is really cool.
All right, like Rob, I hope
Audio
that
now unmuted. Displaying Kartik compatible video.
Okay, thank you. That answered my question.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna bring in Marsha onto the panel. Hi, Marsha. You can ask us your question.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good. One of the things that I have found when I go into instant text, I'm just a rather new envisioner, having had my glasses but about a month,
Mhm.
if that. So I'm very new at this. Now, when I try to go into my instant text, no matter where I am in my apartment, it says it's too dark. Put on more light, and I've got all the lights in the place on, and I'm going, what on earth is that all about?
Yeah, so there is a sensor on the glasses, and that has to do with the fact that the glasses don't really have a flashlight. So it does require you to have a good a lighting a condition around you for you to be able to do stuff like reading text. But we did have an older version of the glasses where where a threshold of the darkness was actually quite low. So something that I would actually request you to do is update your glasses, because I have a feeling you might be on an older software version of the glasses, and see if that actually just solves the issue. So if you can go to the device settings in your glasses and go to software update, there will be an update, and after you updated the glasses, let us know if this is still happening, and if it's
I'm already updated to the latest and the greatest, which is the 1.60 whatever. I'm already updated to that.
All right. So if you believe that this issue is happening even when you are in a well lit sort of environment, and even after that, if it is seeing that the environment is too dark, then that is something we'll have to look into. So I request you to send in an email to us. So if you can email to us at support@letsenvision.com, we can definitely take a look into your situation and help you with the resolution for it.
Right, because I got the things through Access Ingenuity, Ian Ramos.
All right, perfect.
So I got that from him, and that's the one thing that I've never been able to figure out is, what do I do? The thing, no matter where I go, it says it's too dark, and yet when I can scan text, it doesn't do that.
All right. No, yeah. So that does seem like an odd, sort of odd behavior. So if you could, sort of shoot us an email, we'll definitely, sort of jump on a call with you and help you, fix this issue.
Okay, so email you guys, and somebody should hopefully get back to me.
We will definitely get back to you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, Marsha. Thank you. All right. We still are getting an onslaught of questions. We do appreciate all of these questions, but we are a bit over time, so we do have to wrap up the webinar. What I would request all of you, if you are definitely interested in the glasses, is to request a demo. because when you request a demo, you get a one-on-one time with a member of the Envision team. And in that your call, you have everything, you have all the time to ask us all the questions that you need answer to. So it is a free, like a demo that you can make a request of on the website. You just have to pick a time of your choice, and we will be there to offer you a demo either in person or online. So if you have any more of our questions that have not been answered in the webinar already, I would request all of you to request a demo, and we'll definitely be able to answer the questions there. If not, you can always shoot us an email to support@letsenvision.com. With that, I want to thank everyone who is attending the webinar, but especially I want to thank Sharon and Stuart, who have been amazing for taking out the time to be with us on the panel of this webinar. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff we'll still be doing together in the future, but for now, I do want to thank everyone who has been a part of this.
Thank you, everybody, and happy envisioning. Speak soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.